Madagascar and Indonesia, although separated by thousands of kilometers, share a close connection rooted in history, culture, and traditions embedded in Malagasy society. Historical and genetic research reveals that most of the ancestors of the Malagasy people originated from Indonesia, with evidence reflected in their language, traditions, and daily life. The strong interest of the Malagasy people in Indonesia has encouraged the Indonesian embassy in Antananarivo to strengthen bilateral relations between the two countries. One such effort includes hosting Indonesian language classes following the BIPA standards and encouraging young generations to participate in Dharma Siswa and KNB scholarships. These programs enable Malagasy students to pursue education in Indonesia and deepen their understanding of the Indonesian culture. Through these initiatives, cultural and educational ties between Indonesia and Madagascar have grown stronger, laying a solid foundation for further collaboration across various fields while enhancing the bond between the two nations. To know more about the relation through culture between Indonesia and Madagascar, we now connected with Syadeve of the Indonesian Embassy in Antananarivo, Bapak Lanang Saputro. Good afternoon, Pak Lanang. Thank you for joining us here in Focus today.
Good afternoon to all of the TVRI cruise members, and it is very pleased for me to join in this Focus today. And yes, okay.
Okay, Pak Lanang, we are very eager to learn more about the strengthening of the relations between Indonesia and Madagascar. But to learn more about how the Malagasy people view Indonesia and the Indonesian people, can you tell us how do the people of Madagascar perceive Indonesia?
Okay, well, it is very positive. I mean, when the first time I came here in Antananarivo this year, this April, and when I of the Madagascar, they mentioned that we are somehow related because they believe that the ancestors of the Malagasy people coming from region now we call it in Indonesia, Sumatra and Kalimantan or Sulawesi to be precise, and they are very much given attention, and they put this piece of history in their system of education. So they teach this history in their school.
Okay, that's very interesting, Pak Lanang, to learn that there are actually so many similarities between the people in Indonesia and the people in Madagascar, especially when it comes to the culture. Now, maybe you can tell us more about how does the Indonesian embassy bring the two nations closer through cultural programs, and to what extent do the Malagasy people actually know about the Indonesian culture itself?
Yes, well, this this aspect is very interesting, and of course it makes our duty easier somehow here in Antananarivo because through the culture, I think that's the very smooth entry point to strengthen our cooperation between Indonesia and Malagasy, and by empowering the youth generation or younger generation in Madagascar using or teaching by teaching the Indonesian language, so they will know more about Indonesia, and vice versa by teaching them the Indonesia, so we Indonesian people also learn much about the culture, and we can somehow find the similarities, and we can find how we can strengthen our cooperation. And if I may, and one of the program in Indonesian embassy here is teaching bahasa. It's not only teaching them bahasa Indonesia, but by teaching them, they will know bahasa, and further they will understand the social culture, and vice versa. We can also learn which part of the promote our cooperation. Of course, by learning each other, it will be much easier to strengthen and to extend our cooperation not only in the cultural sector but also further in the economic and also in the strategic or in politic sectors.
Okay, that's actually quite fascinating to learn that there are people in Madagascar that are eagerly learning the Indonesian language. Now, Palanang, I would like to continue my questioning, especially about educational programs that the Indonesian government is using, like Dharma Siswa and also the Developing Countries Partnership Scholarship. Has it actually helped to deepen the relationship between Indonesia and Madagascar?
The alumni of the program not only from the, let's say, university level, but also it expands to the another scholarship through the University of Pertahanan. Some of the military staff of Madagascar were also going to Indonesia to study in, one of them is University of Pertahanan, and also some of the high-rank official, military official, joined the, what we call it in Bahasa, SESCO in the past. So it is very much useful for us in here in the embassy to extend our cooperation and also to extend our relationship uh, between Indonesia and Madagascar.
All right, Paalanang, learning that there's so much enthusiasm from the Malagasy people to learn about Indonesia, are there any new plans maybe involving collaboration in the arts of creative works that is being prepared now as we speak, Paalanang? Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, as I mentioned, that cultural is the very safe, the most safe entry point to promote a relationship between two countries, and it is much easier for me, at least. My perception is because we have similarities in culture, and we are trying to promote by maybe in the near future, or maybe this year, we are, 2025, we are going to try to make both documentary and also commercial movies to to picture the relationship between Indonesia and Madagascar. I think our embassy believe that by creating or by producing a movie, both documentary and commercial, then it's much easier to share the understanding, to share the experience that both Madagascar and Malagasy people have in similarities. That's one of the immediate project that we are going to do in the coming year in 2025.
All right, that's
And
exciting to hear.
also, we,
Yes, go ahead, Paalanang. I'm sorry.
yes, we, oh, sorry, yeah, excuse me. We also invite TVRI as one of the media outlets, official media outlets, to join and our cooperation to disseminate this interesting picture or story of relationship between Indonesia and Madagascar.
All right, Paalanang, one last question before we conclude our conversation this afternoon on Focus Today. What are the targets or future aspirations regarding the relationship between Madagascar and Indonesia?
Yes, well, the target is quite challenging. Next year, in 2025, we are in celebrating the 50 years of relationship between Indonesia and Madagascar, and it's a golden jubilee, and I think it's the best starting point to promote both, not only in culture as I mentioned, also in politics sector, because both Indonesia and Madagascar are in the same organization of the Indian Ocean, and then in this forum, we can also enhance our political cooperation, and of course, with the Indonesia Africa Forum, which was held last September this year, we are paving the way to increase our volume in trade and economic cooperation between Indonesia and Africa as a whole. And so I think the relationship between Indonesia and Madagascar is also instrumental in increasing or expanding the relationship between Indonesia and Africa as a whole.
All right, Bapak Lanang Saputro, the Chargé d'Affaires of the Indonesian Embassy in Antananarivo in Madagascar. Thank you so much, Pak Lanang, for sharing with us your valuable time and your insights on the relationship between Madagascar and Indonesia. And thank you so much for the great work that's been done by you and the whole team in the Indonesian Embassy in Madagascar for strengthening the relationship. And we look forward to hearing even more stories about the relationship between our two countries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pak.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, and I wish you all in TPRI also great success. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon.